Coastal Georgia history is incredibly diverse. There's a lot of variety. Tybee Island is one thread in that quilt, so you can understand coastal Georgia history and the history of a place like Savannah through the lens of Tybee Island.
I would say the reason why coastal Georgia history is so interesting is because it is so diverse. All the coastal sea islands have all different development strategies, and I think that's why you see so much different history in the region. There's just a lot to see and do in the coastal area of Georgia. My name is Sarah Jones. I'm the Executive Director for the Tybee Island Historical Society. Well, Tybee has a long history and a surprising history. Tybee was never agricultural. The way the tides are and the way the water moves, it just shifts all that wonderful, rich soil, it just shifts it all south. And that's why on Tybee Island, you never saw the Native Americans inhabit this island because it's the youngest sea island. And it doesn't have that rich earth. It's not really a place they could inhabit. And then, of course, we had the Spanish exploration, which was the earliest exploration we had on Tybee. And from there, we saw the French, and we saw the pirates, and we saw the British, and they all slowly came in and left until Oglethorpe landed in 1733. He wanted to establish a colony on Tybee, quickly realized that wasn't going to be as easy as he thought it was. There was a lazaretto, which was on the north end of the island, which was for quarantining ships that came in. Both enslaved and any foreigners would have to go through that port to make sure they were safe to come into the port of Savannah.
I'm Max Farley. I'm a park ranger here at Fort Pulaski. The fort has something for everyone, is what I always say. We have miles of hiking trails around the fort. Here inside the fort, you have maritime history, religious history, military history, all kind of wrapped up into one place. You have all these layers sort of combining into a really cool story and a really unique story to coastal Georgia. Fort Pulaski was built in the wake of the War of 1812. And during the Civil War, Fort Pulaski becomes an important war goal. By controlling this fort, which sits strategically right in the middle of the Savannah River, you're able to control trade out of the port of Savannah. April of 1862, the fort is taken back by the United States Army during a 30-hour bombardment that breached the wall over here and really proved the utility of a new kind of cannon, rifled technology. After the fort is reclaimed by the United States Army, it becomes the site where General David Hunter issues military emancipation orders that are designed to affect the Confederate war effort by encouraging enslaved people to leave their plantations or other locations and come here to the fort. Millions and millions of bricks went into the walls around us, and the gray bricks that you see up to about halfway on the wall were made locally at the Hermitage Plantation in Savannah. They were made by enslaved workers. About 200 men, women, and children worked there. And because it's made by hand by enslaved workers, you're able to see fingerprints in many cases that have been left behind in the brick by some of those people that made the bricks. It's an important chapter in the place's history, right? Understanding that labor force and what they gave to the fort. And it's an important contextual point for the Civil War as well, because this is the only little pocket of federally controlled land in Georgia at this point. And so a fort that was built by enslaved people really becomes a beacon for freedom kind of overnight during the Civil War. The emancipation moments that happened during the Civil War, Fort Pulaski is one of those important stories.
The Tybee Island Historical Society have developed a Black History Trail, which is on our website for free. It started with the lazaretto, of course, and bringing in the enslaved. And we have some great exhibits in front of the museum about the wade-ins in the 60s. So there is a lot of African American history on Tybee. When visitors come to the Tybee Island Lighthouse, they can climb 178 steps to the top of the lighthouse. You have great views of South Carolina, of the marshes, of the beach. So there are some wonderful views from the top of the lighthouse. We're one of the most intact light stations, and by intact I mean we have all of our head keepers' cottages. When you walk through there, you can see how the Jackson family lived. The Jackson was our last U.S. lighthouse service keeper. We also have our Tybee Island History Museum here on Tybee. Visitors can stop there as well. You can walk through that museum and see not only what an Endicott period battery looked like, there's a lot in there about the history of the development of the island in general, revolutionary history all up into the 1930s and the 40s when the big bands would come and play on the pier. People don't realize that Tybee Island was really a very happening place in the 30s and the 40s. It was known as the gateway to the ocean. It was a place everybody wanted to come.
I think history is incredibly relevant, and it's meaningful to come to a place like this and add it to the fun of an experience like visiting Tybee.